light shafts coming down through the ceiling and would stand around my bed and start turning into a human-like looking form. Very ugly, very lizard-looking.
This being rushed at me across the bed. She had a tool in her hand and she was performing some mysterious procedure on me.
I thought for a while they were ghosts, but these beings materialize into a physical form, so they might be from another dimension.
What the Western world doesn't know too much about, but what Islam brought deep ocean of realities, were the Jinn and the unseen creations of God. For those whom operate with their heart, they're very much seen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, most compassionate and most merciful. We are an energy being, and there are many dimensions, many levels of creation and many realities of which we don't understand. And one of those understandings in the realm of light are the unseen, which are not unseen for those whom operate with their heart, they're very much seen. And what the Western world doesn't know too much about, but what Islam brought a deep ocean of realities, were the Jinn and the unseen creations of God. And they are created from the oceans of energy, like electricity. For every one of us that God has created, He's created 10 of their creation. So they're very numerous in number, and they explain a lot of what can't be understood in the West. When they talk about aliens and they talk about encounters and they talk about abductions, for us those are jinn. Those are the jinn in your home that are abducting you every day, because they're in the home, they're in the home environment. They're a manifestation, they come through energy. When you turn on the TV, the energy that comes through them is them. When you listen to music, the energy that's coming through the sound is them. When you have high-speed internet, because they're an electrical being, they are facilitating their movement through all of these components and all this that we sort of help to bring into existence by their inspirations. We said that the timeline of mankind, of horse and buggy, didn't really move until the advent of electricity. That's when they really wanted to put their world into this human world. And as a result, the height of shot up. We went all the way to the moon within 60, 70 years. So it means their whole movement and understanding is through that electricity. So when we study energy, when we study sound, we understand the sounds that are vibrating. Why do they want humanity to listen to such bad songs now with horrible lyrics and horrible words? Because to resonate at a low frequency so they can become possessed. So if we don't understand energy and frequencies, that's what's happening. So spiritual masters all knew that when you resonate at a high frequency, you actually destroy those lower beings, because your resonance is so high, your zikr, your chantings, your mantras, your breathing practices are so strong. When the lower sort of demonic and evilness come towards your being to occupy you and to sort of live with the human being, the higher frequency actually hits them out. And that vibration shatters it, and God says in Qur'an that, say to the truth, when the truth comes, falsehood is perishing, and falsehood by its nature is always perishing. I mean, that which is false, it can't stay within the face of the truth, and the truth is a light, is a purified light, a holy light, a sanctified soul with its spiritual practices, so that becomes the spiritual warrior. The one whom builds their light and builds their frequency, builds their chanting, why are they warriors against all these demonic forces? So then look at what is happening to society and to children now. The games, the videos, all of these are a bombardment to lower the frequency. When you lower the frequency of humanity, they become possessed because the negative energies that are coming into them and overtaking them. And it doesn't take much for an energy being to overtake a physical person that has no ability to understand or to have any spiritual practices. For us, we're like a television for them. They merely just touch your being and they can cast images into the head, into the heart. So imagine them coming into your physicality, then yes, it would be a horrific thing, and this is what possession and sickness. So much of the culture doesn't understand this, and they used to. You know, the concept of genius, when we use the word genius, was from genies. You had an abundance of Jinni surrounding so that you had abundant flow of knowledges, because their knowledges are far superior to the human knowledge, unless it's a knowledge given by the people of the book in which they study the book, and God gives them more powerful knowledge than the jinn knowledge. Sufism has a deep understanding of all of these, like a science for them. Most sicknesses and disease is caused by that realm that you don't understand. When that energy realm comes and one of them is nefarious and they just merely begin to touch, they can send all sorts of sicknesses and negative vibrations within the vascular system of the body. So we're a very frail creation. When you don't have spiritual protection to wear, we have spiritual protections to wear. When we don't have spiritual practices and we don't meditate, we don't pray, we don't do our chanting, then you're just like a clay pot, and these creatures come into the pot, they make people sick, they make all sorts of difficulties upon them. So yes, they're everywhere and in everything. Most sicknesses are caused by their proximity, most decay and bacteria is caused by their proximity. And the difficulties that are facing humanity has been taught by the Prophet of Islam, that when pandemics come, it's the attack of the shayateen of the jinn, that when they come too much into the human arena and want to become too close to humans, their nature, these nefarious ones, their nature is very dirty. They release all of their waste through their skin, their smell, their sicknesses and bacteria. As they approach near people, they become sick and sickened by them, and their interest is to enter into the human being and attack the vascular system and the respiratory system. It's the bronchial tree and the respiratory system of humanity, because it represents a great reality within the divine. And the negative force is fighting to enter into human beings and to overtake the respiratory system, the bronchial tree, and to stop them from having a purified breath and from having purified experience, because the power of the breath. That when the breath is good, the zikr, the chanting and all of the energy of the breath, what happens with that breath? It's a divine breath. That we've been given this grace by God as a secret for our breath. When that breath comes into the breath, it actually nourishes the heart. And then when it pumps with the zikr onto the heart and goes out to the lungs, and the blood becomes purified and dresses all the 11 organs, you can see then the importance of the breath. And that's why all spiritual paths are based on the breath and the reality of the breath and how to sort of master the breath. All that been lost. And now we see all these respiratory diseases in the last days and all the sicknesses that are coming, and it's for that very nature. And that's why the devils, they don't want spiritual training, they don't want spiritual advice, so they don't put shaykhs and spiritual masters on any satellite that they control, and that's the difficulty. So that this realm of the jinn, they want to occupy the earth and all of its humanity, and they want them to be enslaved by that reality. But there are soldiers of light, and the kingdom of God is coming, and it's just a matter of people to prepare. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.